Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Awashai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the hopeful elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird mixed in among the heathen nations. And the Akwaf that are listening and learning. To you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. And this lesson is inspired by two different topics. One, the thing that just went on in Virginia last week, which has been dwarfed by bigger stories. But this is still a very, very big thing, because this could be the catalyst, just yet another thing that could start the civil unrest, So Virginia and the virus, all right, because that virus is not going away. The plagues are definitely upon Egypt. And everything that they do to try and stop it is going to fail. They're just going to distract with other news and things of that nature. But let's go straight to the scriptures. This is Isaiah 10:1, and it reads, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." All right, so he prescribes grievous laws which are harmful to people and not helpful. Laws that oppress. All right, laws that are draconian in nature. Okay, so and the big document in America is the Constitution, and they're attacking the Constitution. They're trying to, and this thing that happened in Virginia, they're definitely going after the Second Amendment. They're going after the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. And the reason why they're attacking they really want the First Amendment to come into place, and the only way to get rid of the First Amendment is to institute the Second Amendment. All right, the First Amendment is free speech, to be able to say what you want to say, as long as you're not harming or hurting anyone. And they're quickly taking that away. All right, because you can bring up facts, history, and information, and still be silenced. Perfect example, the brother Kawalia, he and some of the brothers up from the Evanston camp did a video that was based upon issues that were sabotaging or defacing their own properties and committing crimes upon themselves, and then blaming it on other people. And they actually got caught doing it. As a matter of fact, if you Google it, you could Google such things as rabbi defacing synagogues and that whole sort of thing, and many stories will pop up. Just recently, you had the one ish guy stab himself and then fabricated a story. And so they were pointing out these stories like that, and I watched the video, reposted it, and then I went to go to my other channel to repost it on that, clicked on it, and it had been deleted just that fast. And they didn't say anything that wasn't true. They were just using their own information in the news stories. And those stories are still up. Those stories are still up, but that video was deemed something wrong with it by the YouTube community. No, it was deemed something was wrong with it according to the Ish community. That was an unrighteous, draconian law, so to speak. All right, but nevertheless, going after the First and Second Amendment, you got to think, man, that across America, there's roughly 400+ million guns that are owned by over 200 million people. And most of those people are conservatives. Now, remind you, for every legal gun, there's who knows how many illegal guns, or unregistered guns, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? I don't know why this camera is blinking like that. That's the weird thing. I just noticed that on the screen it was blinking. But yeah, but for every registered gun, there's who knows how many unregistered guns. But we're talking about the registered ones. So we're looking at well over from 400 to 500 million guns in America, and which is the only reason why a lot of things they've been slow to implement and do a lot of things, because they're afraid of an uprising or the people resisting. Okay, let's grab another scripture. This is to go a little bit further into what I'm trying to get at. This is Isaiah 33 and verse 1. And it reads, "Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee." All right, and I'm gonna give you some examples of some very treacherous dealings that have yet to been recompensed. All right, the Chinese Revolution in the earlier part of the century. All right, they banned firearms. Hey, they still finding the bodies in pits today. Okay, you had the thing that went down in Nazi Germany. They collected up all the guns, and next thing you know, a lot of the issues were put in those camps. They were, but it was a whole lot of other people, and a lot of people did die as a result of it. Catholics and a whole bunch of other people as well, because they unarmed the people. And what you see is what E does, because all this was inspired by E. Okay. Although I don't really know the history well enough about the Chinese thing, but I'm willing to bet that if you dig deep enough into it, you're gonna find that E was behind a lot of that, or was involved. But nevertheless, then you had Stalin. Stalin did the same thing. He disarmed all those Russians, and next thing you know, millions of people were dying, man. All right, and then later on in the same century, right after Vietnam, you had Pol Pot. Disarm the people and then kill the people, man. So a lot of people, are weary of that, and that's one of the main reasons why Americans brag and love their right to bear arms. And if you try to take it from them, you're gonna have problems, man. Because those things that happen in those nations, if you think it can't happen here, it won't. You're fooling yourself, man. All right? Because it's written. There is going to be an insurrection. All right? And I'm going to actually read about it. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. And it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power." So the nation, the citizens of America are preparing to fight against their government, their oppressive government. And when you try to disarm these hillbillies and these these oath keepers, these former military, and these just diehard good old boys, you are going to have some problems. All right? And it's going to happen, because the Lord said he's going to put the Egyptian against the Egyptians at the same time that the plagues are coming. So, and then there's also the threat of the dollar crashing behind this virus as well. This virus is shutting down major business, not only in America but worldwide. It's gonna cause some serious. It's gonna have some serious tsunami effects, so to speak. All right, earthquake can happen in the middle of the ocean, but then it can send tsunamis that wipe out whole cities, man. So this situation with this virus is causing financial effects, and those financial effects are going to lead eventually to civil unrest. All right, that's just what it is. Okay, this is Isaiah 19 and verses 1 and I'm going to read verses 1 and 2, maybe 3 as well. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved in his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Because Yahweh Shai is going to come back on those chariots, man. It tells you that in Revelation 1 and 7, that he's going to come back the same way he left, on a cloud, man. The cloud, they put out a report that said 2019 had the most reports well, they don't call them UFOs anymore. Something about aerial phenomenons. I forget the acronym that they're using now. But we're in the know, and we know that those are the chariots of Israel. And that the chariots of Israel are going to come to what? To fly and destroy Babylon, just as I read. All right? Those are those clouds, the chariots of Israel. Okay? And verse 2, and it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So when the chariots return, E is going to be fighting against E. Not only in this country, but in different parts of the world. E is going to be fighting because the other nations are going to come against America. So it's going to, not only is it going to be infighting within E on a world scale, it's going to be infighting with E right here in America. It's already happening. Look at the political scandals with the president right now. How divided the parties are, the two main parties. They're divided against each other, and then they were divided within their own ranks. All right? Verse 2 again, verse Isaiah 19 and 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, and city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right? So everything that they're going to do is going to fail, man. All right? Everything's going to fail. Everything's going to fall apart. As a matter of fact, verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. So that their politics is all deteriorating and falling apart. They can't get anything done. And they shall seek to idols and to charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits and wizards. And the scriptures clearly said, thou shalt not suffer a wizard to live. See, that's another thing. They've been running to these left-hand side spirits for so long. These left-hand side spirits are actually going to abandon them. All right? They're going to abandon them, and all their things are going to fail. So I can tell you is to buckle up your seatbelt. You know, stay locked in the spirit, because 2020, I think we're in we're about to cross over into January. I mean into February, and so much has happened in the month of January. I can't wait to see what February is like. I mean, we could be in full-blown civil unrest by the summer, man. Maybe even before. I hope it be so. So with that, I want to give all praises, going honor unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakar Kwadash, Wa Abba Babal. Shalom.